Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to do another Kickstarter update of a project that I've recently backed. This one is called 13 Moons. I don't know if you're familiar with it or saw it on Kickstarter, but this is a review and feedback. I did just get this about 2 weeks ago. I did want to have a chance to play the game, so that's why it took me a little bit longer to do the upload on this one. One of the things that really drew me into the project was that it kind of looked like I could incorporate it with my tarot deck. I also really love the game of Rummy. It said it's a Rummy styled inspired game, and also it's, celestial or about the moons and space. And everybody, if you watch this channel, you know that I love that type of thing. I do want to say that this project did amazingly well on Kickstarter. They unlocked all the stretch goals and we got some expansion packs. I will go over those as we go through the flip through. The other thing that I wanted to say about this project is it was originally supposed to ship and be to people around the time of Christmas, which would be really nice to play on Christmas. However, we know that with Kickstarter that timelines always shift. There are sometimes issues with production or whatever happens in people's lives. So with any Kickstarter that you back, you just want to keep that in mind. I did not get this project until about 2 weeks ago, and it's the end of March right now. Also, when it did ship out, I did not get my shipping email until after the project was already at my house for a couple days, which is not a big deal because I had ended up messaging along one of the updates, which again, the creator was really, really awesome about updates. I do appreciate that when they are straightforward, they give you lots of updates. It actually helps you feel like the project's moving along and you're not just left in the dark. So props to her for that. Now, how this game is played is a little bit like Rummy, but I want to say that it's not the same as Rummy because I made the mistake of telling people when we play it, it's a Rummy style game. They thought this was going to be Rummy. It's very similar, but it is not Rummy, okay? Which is fine with me. I really personally like that aspect. However, a couple of people that I played with, they did not like it because they thought it was confusing, but they are just impatient people, in my opinion. So basically, the objective of the game is to get these meld phases, and they are cards 1 through 8. You can lay either 3 down or 4 down at a time. You cannot build on these when you're playing. It's just going to be, what you put down is the end of the turn. You can only do 1 meld phase per turn as well. So that's a little bit different. But you basically want to get 1 through 8 is the main objective. So this is hard for people that I was playing with to kind of understand that your main objective was that. They just wanted to focus on regular style Rummy, and I kept telling guys the rules are different. But anyway, I digress. You can also, since you're building a phase and it's going around the moon or around the world, I forget how she words it, but you can also use the 8 in the 1 kind of so that the phase goes back and forth. You need to have all cards 1 through 8 at some point within some kind of meld phase to end the game. That was also a thing that was difficult because I played this game with 3 players and 2 players. When I played with 2 players, we did get to a point where certain people kept picking up the same cards. So like for example, I was never getting the 8 or whatever. So that made it a little bit difficult. It was also kind of unclear on how to end the round. If you had to, basically like in regular Rummy, we've always played where you have to end the round on a discard. There is no clarification on this if you have to be able to discard or not, or if you could just be out of cards and then you're done. If you're unfamiliar with Rummy and how you pick up cards, basically there is a card pile that everybody draws from and then a discard pile that you accumulate through the game. You can pick up usually just the 1 top card and hold it in your hand, or you can pick up from a different point in the deck, but you have to pick up all the cards, and the bottom card that you picked up is what you played. So that kind of made it interesting. It was similar to Rummy in that sense. So that was a little confusing to us too. And this, like I said, I played this with 2 different groups, a group of 3 and a group of 2, like me and 1 other person. So the group of 2, we played it a little bit longer and tried to learn the rules and played it a little bit better. the group of 3, everybody just got impatient and we couldn't even finish it. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. Hopefully I will, be able to try this game again with them, and it'll be a little bit easier. The other way to gain points is to get melds, or different types of melds, and these are the dark blue colors. They have to be all matching each other. So those can be like all of the same number, 11, 12, whatever. They're the higher number cards. I do also want to point out with that these dark blue ones that you can put 3 down as your meld to start, but your opponents can play the 4th card down and they will get those points to complete the meld. We just kept the piles separate so you know whose points are what. You keep your points by you, but you would say I'm playing the 11 down on so-and-so's pile, and then keep it in your pile. But you can lay either 3 cards down or 4 cards down at a time to do this. So the point structure that when we do this is the smaller phase 1 through 8 are 5 points. The event cards 9 through 3, which is the dark blue, are 8 points, and the luminary cards are 13 points. The luminary cards are basically the card that matches the purple. When we did the scoring, nobody wanted to use the luminary cards because they said the math on this was just too confusing, which I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But we just ended up going 5, 10, and 13, or 5, 10, and 15 points to make the math easy rounding. That was like one drawback, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Again, some people when they play games don't like to follow the rules and they like to make their own rules. I'm okay with playing rules. Like I said, most of them made sense except for the ending of our particular round was a little bit, some of the instructions were a little bit unclear. Either way, I truly enjoyed this game. I thought it was fun. We never got to the bonus cards because everybody said there was too many rules and they didn't understand the game. But I think of more times playing the game, they'll understand these and want to incorporate them. So like I said, we didn't get a chance to use the expansion deck, but I will be making my friends and family play this again because I do want to play the expansion pack. Basically, these are just special cards where they have special powers and kind of changes the game up a little bit. For example, the blue moon, it says play as a super moon or full moon, takes on the points of any cards it's being used or played as. So I think that would be a fun element, an easier way to gain points, kind of make the game a little bit more competitive. Again, I'm excited to try this again. Like I said, I think the group that I played with, they just sometimes take a little bit of time to warm up to a game. So final thoughts on the game. I do want to say that the quality of this game is supreme. I love it. The cards feel really nice. They're soft in your hand. They're smooth and buttery. The only thing I do not like is they are a little bit big for card playing. They are a tarot size deck, which is not the worst thing. Honestly, it is still very playable. Most people could hold it. It just is a little bit cumbersome when you're laying it down on the table. There's not a whole lot of table space. But I do like it because my intention was to use this as a card game, of course, and then also use it with like a oracle deck with my tarot cards, which I think I definitely can do. I love the gilding on the edges of the cards. They are really nice. I love the bamboo box that it came with. Like I said, this was an upgrade, but it holds everything nicely inside and everything can easily be put away. So that is also a plus. The little card holder I think is a good quality. It does match the same type of wood that the bamboo box is made out of. Plus it has the cute little logo that is the name of the game. So overall, I think the quality and production of the game was great. I would have nothing that I would rate this poorly. Like I said, I probably would give it an 8 out of 10. I do want to play it a few more times. Maybe that would get us up to a 10 out of 10. I think the reasons that I don't like the game yet is because we haven't played it enough and the people that I play the game with aren't cooperating to kind of play the game with. But overall, I love the artwork and everything is beautiful and I enjoy this game and I would recommend it to people and I think I will back content from this creator in the future. So if you like this video or this type of content, don't forget to give it a like.